Come on in. Welcome to Idle That, where we talk all things Survivor. My name is Luke, and today we're talking about 5 blindsides that were completely pointless. A perfectly played blindside can be the difference between success and failure in the game of Survivor. There are dozens of legendary blindsides that shaped the course of their seasons or even the game itself, where the right people pulled off the right move at the right time, when the stars all aligned for a season-defining moment where legends are created with the stroke of a pen. Then there are these blindsides that had no purpose at all, where the survivors overthought things and targeted someone, often their own ally, out of a misplaced desire to pull off some big move just for the sake of a big move. These are moves which either had no effect or a net negative effect on the games of the blindsiders. Which blindsides were totally, completely, and utterly pointless? Let's find out as we dig into 5 completely needless, big moveitis Survivor blindsides. At number 5 is Kelly voting out Jack in Survivor Island of the Idols. This was the last round before the merge, and everyone on post-swap Lyro knew it. And with Dean and Karishma as the only original Lyro on this tribe, and Karishma as a self-declared free agent, the original Vokai majority of Kelly, Jamal, Jack, Janet, and Nora were highly incentivized to just vote off Dean and regroup with the rest of their original tribe at the merge. But there are no easy votes in Season 39 of Survivor, even though there should have been at certain points. Complicating things, Dean and Kelly discover they have an outside of the game connection. Dean's ex is a girlfriend of Kelly's. I wonder why they broke up. Maybe Dean just isn't that great at communicating.
Huh?
Kelly also had a time-sensitive immunity idol she got at Island of the Idols, and it's burning a hole in her pocket. Instead of just going along with the easy Dean vote, she concocts a scheme that is too cute by half. She decides to discreetly give Dean her idol to idol out Jack, convinces Nora to vote for Jack as well, and also she herself votes for Dean to cover her tracks. To Kelly's strategic credit, she pulls this complicated plan off for like 5 minutes. At Tribal, Dean plays the idol, which scares Jamal into playing his idol on Nora, only for Jack to go home with 2 votes from Dean and Nora. But this blew up in Kelly's face right after Tribal, as Nora threw her under the bus the second they got back. At the next Tribal Council, the merge, Dean doesn't exactly return Kelly's favor. I get why Kelly did this. She had more trust in Nora than in Dean, and more trust in Dean than in Jack. So she saved her top 2 and lost the player she trusted least. But in both players, Kelly's trust was misplaced, and she should have known by now that putting any amount of faith in Nora is a fool's errand. And personally, I think Kelly just wanted to use her idol while it was still good. It was a move that was needlessly complicated, too risky, and required putting extreme trust in the 2 most unpredictable players in the game for the payoff of saving Dean? I mean, he's your friend's ex for a reason. At number 4 is Jay and Will blindsiding Michaela in Survivor Millennials vs Gen X. In a season of big pre-merge swings, David playing his idol on Jess, Adam flipping on Figgy and Taylor, Rachel in this challenge, this may be the biggest, for no reason. The Millennials in post-swap Ikabula were sitting pretty. Jay, Will, Hannah, and Michaela swapped into this tribe with Brett and Sunday, leaving the 2 original Gen Xers very much on the outs. After this tribe loses immunity the last round before the merge, Michaela comes up with a surefire plan for the Millennials to have their avocado toast and eat it too. They can split votes 2-2 between Brett and Sunday in case of an idol, and if no idols are played, send Brett home on the revote. Well, pretty basic Survivor strategy, but wait, you guys are struggling with this? Will's high school apparently doesn't teach Survivor 101, because Michaela has to get out rocks and shells to explain this fairly simple strategic concept to the boys. This proves to be a fatal demonstration for Michaela. as Jay and Will begin to feel extremely threatened by her strategic capabilities, which again is just her playing in the sand with shells and rocks. They join together with Brett and Sunday to blindside Michaela right out of the game in a move so pointless and short-sighted, she really cannot believe it.
Michaela. What? That's 3 votes Michaela, 2 votes Brett, 1 vote left.
That is an appropriate reaction. It's an iconic blindside. Jay's ice-cold reaction is incredible, as is Michaela's justified shock. But it was a blindside that didn't really make a whole lot of sense for Will and Jay to do, who came into the merge not with a millennial majority the next round, but instead firmly on the bottom with Taylor and Michelle. Maybe they should have asked Michaela to crunch the numbers for them on this one. At number 3 is Joel voting out Mary in Survivor Micronesia. This is big moveitis before big moveitis had even been invented. It's revolutionary in a way. Joel is like the first caveman to make fire. On the Irai tribe of fans, there were 2 alliances. The alliance of Tracy, Kathy, and Chet, and the other 7 people. The 3 older players were immediate outcasts. So shunned by their tribe, they even made their own separate little camp down by the beach because they felt so unwelcome. When Irai loses the second immunity challenge, one of these 3 should be an easy vote. The easiest vote. How do you not vote off Chet first? He was like made in a lab to be the quintessential first boot. That's what Mikey B wants to do. Kathy had just been to Exile Island, so Mikey B comes up with a plan to split votes between Chet and Tracy in case of any idol shenanigans. Go 4-3-3. It's a can't lose situation. Enter Joel. Joel was this tribe's leader, I guess. Not sure why any tribe would want to be led by a guy who calls himself Truck, but whatever. Joel is skeptical of Mikey B dictating the vote, as well as Mikey B's little flirtmance with Mary. Now, if you're saying Mary who, you're not the only one. For basically no other reason than to make a big move, Joel recruits the trio of tribe outsiders and Eric, Alexis, and Natalie to vote off Mary to weaken Mikey, accomplishing nothing other than keeping 2 weak challenge competitors and tribe outsiders in the game, letting a smart strategic enemy gain game momentum, and signaling to anyone he's aligned with that he will turn on you for basically no reason. I could give Joel credit here for wanting to stop a budding showmance dead in its tracks. I could, but I won't. This was a dumb move. At the tribe's next elimination, Joel does what he has to and doubles down and votes out Mikey. Only for the 2 people he should have taken out at these 2 votes, Chet and Tracy, to vote him out the literal next round at the swap. Oh, piece of Chet. At number 2 is Wardog blindsiding Wentworth in Survivor Edge of Extinction. The trio of Wentworth, Lauren, and Wardog had a true Cinderella story in Edge of Extinction. Initially put on the buffoon tribe Manu, these 3 got through those tough early days together by relying on each other. They took out Reem, Keith, and 1 other player before getting swapped to Lesu, where they again repeatedly lost. They attended and survived every pre-merge tribal council except for 1, but came into the merge again down in numbers. And yet, they managed to pit a solid Kama majority against itself. And by the final 9, they've managed to fracture Kama so much that they have full control of the tribe, they've consolidated all of the immunity idol power into their own pockets, and they have an obvious target, Rick, to shield them. They have a solid 3-person alliance that can dictate the votes from here on out that no one is even really coming for. Shall we ride this out for a few votes, or shall we implode? At this final 9 vote, Wardog decides to target Kelly on the shakiest of logic. She is the last returning player left in the game, and he argues that a returning player always gets to the final 3 and wins when there are returnees mixed with newbies. Sure, this is usually true, but this seems a little soon. He also specifically cites Coach, which, yeah, famous Survivor winner Coach. This is just a classic big move for big move's sake. Someone should have kenneled the Wardog on this one because he was simply unable to sit still the second he had any power. An easy Aurora vote as planned would have weakened Kama further, given the Lesu 3 an even tighter grip on the game, and Wardog could always go for Kelly later. It wouldn't even really be a tough sell to get a majority of the tribe on side with that at any point. Without Wentworth in front of him to catch the heat, and now outed as a major strategic threat, Wardog goes home the very next round. That's a bad Wardog. Don't make me rub your nose in it. At number 1 is Missy blindsiding Chelsea in Survivor Island of the Idols. If Sierra wasn't the poster child of big moves, Missy would be. At least Sierra's appeal to big moves was because she was on the bottom and was trying to get people to flip. Missy was firmly at the top of the pecking order on Lyro, but still pulled off a blindside so inane and so pointless that the show had to make up a showmance just to explain it to the audience. Missy had already put together a woman's alliance on Lyro, but immediately ruined that with both a split vote on Karishma as well as by voting out Vince, who was in tight with the girls' alliance. After Lyro loses the episode 4 immunity challenge, Karishma is the easy vote now. I'm sorry to say it because I love Karishma, but getting rid of her here probably would have benefited most everyone long term, even if it is a pretty predictable and by the numbers vote. But if Missy is on a tribe, there can be no boring votes. The power in this tribe now lays in the trio of Missy, Elizabeth, and Aaron. After the immunity loss, Aaron pitches a Dean vote based on challenge performance. Elizabeth pushes back on the Dean vote because she wants him around, and Missy pushes back on a Karishma vote because, well, I'm not actually sure. So she suggests Chelsea instead. You know, Chelsea, the person she's aligned with and who is unquestionably loyal to her. This move made absolutely zero sense for anyone, especially Missy. All voting out Chelsea did was weaken Missy's alliance and alienate Dean further, ensuring that both Dean and Karishma would never again be Lyro strong. You could argue she was trying to get Karishma back on side, but that doesn't really hold much water since she calls Karishma useless at Tribal Council. And also, does Karishma strike you as a water under the bridge kind of person? When the Dean blindside was squashed by Elizabeth, the thought of going one single round without a blindside was simply unbearable. So Chelsea paid the price for standing next to Dean a few times. Sometimes the simplest vote is actually the right one, and a vote that could have united Lyro instead fractured them beyond repair, and Missy herself would karmically pay the ultimate price down the line for keeping Karishma. You know, I guess there's a lesson in all of this. Whatever you do on Survivor, don't align with Dean. Got nothing else for ya. Don't be a piece of Chet. Like and subscribe, and I'll get you more Survivor content just like this. Until next time, don't get idled out.